Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Sikodin. We're playing It Moves. This is going to be part 4 of our big shenanigans of this game. Last time we left off, we ended up finding out that the boy needed to change his room up, so he removed his bottom bunk on his bed and put furniture inside of it to keep people, or keep whatever it is from sleeping in the bottom bunk. So we're hoping that at the end of this, that this actually clears up the problem, and all that good stuff. We were in a room full of cow things, so if you don't remember that much, cow things, mooing, me laughing, that's about it. Let's keep rolling. I guess we're waiting. Looks like a stage of some sort. Yeah, they look like cows. That's all I can, like, cows with like weird ass head stingers. Like, I don't know what the fuck that is. Do I follow him or do I go through all these rooms? The lock on the door is broken. I don't think I can get in. That place is destroyed. And there's no way we're getting up there. I guess we're following the stranger. Stranger? Where'd you go? Ah, down underground. I love the underground. Yes, yes, you'll get your baby Ruth. Calm down. Please don't eat me. That's no way to play with the jump rope. All this walking is really starting to make me unnerved. What's that, a T-Rex? Well, yeah, just lay on the bed, I guess. I guess that's what we're doing. Sacrifice! Sacrifice! Everybody come around, it's a little boy. It's like the Dark Crystal. Oh, it needs a bottle of Cristal. Was I blessed with the holy power to, like... You're awfully quiet nowadays. Is there something wrong, son? Nothing. Are you sure? Is there something wrong with your new room? Are you lonely without your brother? No. Alright then. So he's terrified beyond all reason, but he has no words. I woke gradually. The room was once again dark. As my eyes adjusted, I could gradually make out the window and the door, and the walls, some toys on a shelf, and, even to this day, I shudder to think of it, for there was no noise. No rustling of sheets, no movement at all. The room felt lifeless. Lifeless? Yet not empty. The nightly visitor, that unwelcome, wheezing, hate-filled thing which had terrorized me night after night, was not in the bottom bunk. It was in my bed! I opened my mouth to scream, but nothing came out. Utter terror had shaken the very sound from my voice. I lay motionless. If I could not scream, I did not want to let it know I was awake. I had not yet seen it. I could only feel it. I was obscured under my blanket. It was obscured. I could see its outline, and I could feel its presence, but I dared not look. The weight of it pressed down on top of me, a sensation I will never forget. When I say that hours passed, I do not exaggerate. Laying there motionless in the darkness, I was every bit as scared and frightened, young boy. If it had been during the summer months, it would have been light by then. But the grasps of winter is long and unrelenting, and I knew it would be hours before sunrise. A sunrise which I yearned for. I was a timid child by nature, but I reached a breaking point. A moment where I could wait no more, where I could survive under this intimately deviant abomination no longer. Fear can sometimes wear you out, make you threadbare, a shell of nerves leaving only the slightest trace of you behind. I had to get out of that bed. Then I remembered the crucifix. My hand still lay underneath the pillow, but it was empty. I slowly moved my wrist around to find it, minimizing as best I could the sound and vibrations caused, but it could not be found. I had either knocked it off the top bunk, or it had... I could not even bear to think of it, been taken from my hand. Without the crucifix, I lost any sense of hope. Even at such a young age, you can be acutely aware of what death is, and intensely frightened of it. I knew I was going to die in that bed if I lay there, dormant, passive, doing nothing. I had to leave that room behind. But how? Should I leap from the bed and hope that I make it to the door? What if it's faster than me? Or should I slowly slip out of that top bunk, hoping to not disturb my uncanny bedfellow? Realizing that it had not stirred when I moved, trying to find the crucifix, I began to have the strangest of thoughts. You accidentally fell back asleep. Chapter 6. The Abyss. Yes, please. Ah, we're swimming this time around. This is nice. Hey, fishies! I like this level. This level's really nice. For now. Fishies, come back! I want to talk to you. Come here, fishies. Really strange, but assumably the fear of drowning is not also a very good feeling at the end of it all. Oh, this is weird. The hell is this thing? A spaceship? It's a giant... Never mind. It's a building. It's a big building. Drain water, remove the diving gear. No. Or keep the diving gear and remove the water. I'm feeling much better now. Daddy! Daddy! Daddy, come back! What if the stranger is Daddy? It's logbook. Ah, Theodore Fielding, September 2nd, 2007. Captain. One of my highest fears is deep water. Ironic, when you consider the fact that I am now working on a mining station thousands of feet underwater, in the Marina Trench. I have always wondered why I was afraid and reached a simple conclusion. The true fear presented here is actually going down beneath the surface into the depths. It's a combination of all of our most common fears. I fear of the dark. When you're at the bottom of a body of water, you can't see anything. It's pitch black. Have you ever tried to swim as far down in a lake as you can? It gets really dark and cold really fast, about 10 feet downish. But even that's nothing compared to the deepest point on the entire crust of the earth, located at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, the Marina Trench, which is 38,000 feet, and even more. If you put Mount Everest at the bottom of the trench, the top of the mountain would still be over a mile below the surface of the ocean. Everything below you is complete darkness, and this definitely plays into our collective fear of the dark. Number 2. Fear of suffocating. Have you ever gotten to the point where you swam down too far in a swimming pool and you seriously considered the fact that you might not make it back to the top before you ran out of breath? If you've ever been roughhousing as a kid with blankets and pillows and you accidentally got pinned down inside of a sleeping bag or something, and you get to that point where laughter temporarily turns to screaming, you know what a scary concept not being able to breathe is. Yeah, I know that all too well. Even if you have scuba gear with you down in the deep dark abyss, there's a chance a valve could pop out, or you could run out of oxygen. You can't see, and you can't really take a deep breath. Could it get worse? Ah, yeah. Could definitely get worse, because, you know, Megalodon. Fear of the unknown. There are over 1 million species of creatures in the ocean, and scientists estimate that there are an additional 9 million species yet to be discovered. That means we only even know about maybe 11% of the creatures in the ocean are. Most of the beings in the ocean are things mankind has never even seen or heard of. Who knows what could be down there? Think about a time when you were walking in a dimly lit basement, trying to find something. Let's see, trying to find something. All of a sudden, something brushes up against the back of your neck. They become airborne, similar to a frightened cat, and instantly turn around and shine their flashlight to see what it was. It's never anything actually scary. It's usually a cobweb. But in deep water, it's always something scary. It's dark, you can barely breathe, and something just touched you and you have no idea where they just went. But there is more to fear, I'm afraid. Fear flying insects. Imagine that as you're walking along, all the beetles and scorpions crawling along the ground, the huge black hairy spiders that are hidden from view in the cracks, and the slimy worms and snakes that are burrowed beneath the ground, simultaneously started flying anywhere they wanted. That is what the bottom of the sea without water would be like. For the strange creatures underwater, there is no up or down. Even the manliest men, even though they appear to be calm, quickly tense up and become filled with a secret fear that the bug might land on their eyeball or fly into their mouth. And that's why men try so hard to kill them. Unfortunately, in deep water, you can't see any of the undiscovered freakish flying creatures that brush past your body as you grasp as your suffocating throat. Fear of being caught. Imagine that you're running from a bear. You will be eaten if you are caught, and it doesn't help that bears can run faster, sideways, than the fastest human can run forward. When you're at the bottom of the sea, everything that is around you was built to move in water. If something truly frightening like a shark or a giant squid caught sight of you, you could turn the other way and flail about all you want, but the monster will catch up with you in a split second. You can't get away from anything. Even if you had the wherewithal you see and breathe, you couldn't run from danger. It would simply find you and devour you. There are lots of places that I wouldn't want to be, such as trapped in a burning house, or alone in the vacuum of space. But in the burning house, at least I can see, and in space, at least there aren't any creatures that could get me. There are in no places in the universe that combine as many common fears as 7 miles below the surface of the Pacific Ocean. It is because of the combination of all of these fears that I am so horrified of deep water. Oh, that was a really enlightening story. Should we follow the father? Are we missing a part of the story? Oh, look at the fish. It's a football fish. I love fish. This is like my favorite level. Daddy, what are you doing? Is that like a giant hole in the ground though? We don't have diving gear, do we? Why are we sinking to like... I can't move or anything, so... Of course. Should have never read that journal. That journal was filled with everything that would be bad for night terror. Alright, what's happening? What if it was asleep? It hadn't so much as breathed since I had woken up. Perhaps it was resting, believing that it had finally got me, that I was finally in its grasp. Or perhaps it was toying with me. After all, it had been doing just that for countless nights. And now, with me under it, pinned against my mattress with no mother to protect me, maybe it was holding off, savoring its victory until the last possible moment, like a wild animal savoring its prey. I tried to breathe as shallowly as possible, and mustering every ounce of courage I could, I reached over slowly with my right hand and began to peel the blanket off of me. What I found under those covers almost stopped my heart. I did not see it, but as my hand moved the blanket, it brushed against something. Something smooth and cold. Something which... Hey everybody, come to interrupt you again. This is the end of part 4 as we're speaking here. I hope you're like at the edge of your seats and watching, because this is gonna be as deep as it probably gets. If you notice, this game is built around fear. It's not just the darkness, and it's the fear of the unknown, and the fear of dying, and the fear of drowning, and the fear of, you know, all that good stuff. We all have our fears. It's such a scary thing, but that's what makes us who we are. Without the fears, without that consciousness that something might happen to us, we would just do anything we want, and who knows? Who knows what the world could be? I mean, there are people who do feel that way already, and they either achieve a lot or bad things happen. But I prefer they achieve a lot. Other than that, I hope you guys are ready, because this is going to be the grand finale of part 5 coming up tomorrow. So keep watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video. See ya!